The Board of Education makes available at least one current copy of the Open Meetings Act. Please
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we will start with the consent agenda. Do I have a motion, please?
I move that the Board of Education of District 15 approve the consent agenda as presented, including approval of minutes of the regular Board of Education meeting on January 13th, 2025, approval of the proposed accounts for payment, approval of budgetary receipts and expenditures for January 2025, approval of option students, approval of resignations of Gus Brown, High School Assistant Principal Activities Director, Jennifer Haynes, Behavior Coordinator, Jennifer Pasowski, High School Counselor, Darcy Harrelson, Elementary Special Education. Approval of minutes of the Committee of the Whole meeting on January 27, 2025, and approval of Policy 9300 regular meetings.
Okay, thank you, Doris. We have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Eric. First off, Jason, do you have a treasurer's report?
I do. General fund expenses for the month of January. Payroll was $1,805,064.91. Checks for bills were $545,395.69. That brought us to a total of $2,350,410.60. Revenue for the month was $2,608,987.
Thank you, Jason. Are there any items that any board member would like to pull off the consent agenda for further discussion? All right, seeing none, can I have your votes, please? And motion passes. All right, next up, outstanding recognition, Employee of the Month, Dr. Nielsen.
Good evening. Tonight, I am excited because we are adding something else to the Employee of the Month. We are adding a matching donation. Our foundation came to us and said, hey, we'd also like to support the teacher who receives this donation. Just an FYI for everyone, we will be going back to August and making sure that the teachers that received it and all of our staff members who have received it from August through January will also have those matching funds available. So I'm going to ask Jamie Bader to come on up, and we are going to do the presentation together. The other person that I'm going to ask to come on up is Miss Missy Timmerman. Come on down. I know. You didn't realize that we...
You know what? I
you
had
wondered?
an inkling when yeah.
And I was like, are you coming? You have to be here. So, we would like to congratulate Miss Missy, February Employee of the Month. Missy shows every student love and compassion no matter who they are or where they come from. She goes above and beyond to ensure they feel safe, supported, and valued. Whether it's taking extra time to address their needs, finding creative solutions to help them succeed, or simply being a calming presence in their day, Missy never gives up on the child. Her ability to connect with students on a personal level transforms their school experience and creates an environment where they can thrive academically, socially, and emotionally. Missy is the heart and soul of our school community. She works tirelessly behind the scenes to make the school a better place for students and staff alike. She constantly plans staff games, dress-up days, luncheons, and other activities that bring the team closer together. Her leadership style fosters a sense of camaraderie and positivity that boosts morale and strengthens relationships. Missy's forward thinking, always being several steps ahead, ensures that everything from daily operations to special events runs smoothly, creating a joyful and engaging environment for everyone. She is a true leader who leads by example every single day. Her door is always open, even when she is juggling a million tasks, and she never says she's too busy to help. Whether it's stepping into a classroom at a moment's notice, offering a listening ear, or helping a staff member through a tough day, Missy is always there. She doesn't shy away from challenges or uncomfortable situations if it means doing what's best for the students and staff. Her dedication to putting kids first, her unwavering support for her team, and her ability to adapt and embrace change make her a cornerstone of our school. Missy deserves this recognition not only for the countless hours she pours into her work, but for the lasting impact she has on everyone around her. Congratulations. Yes. I know that Jamie also has something to say.
All right. So I am very excited to be here tonight as part of our new staff appreciation initiative. The Beatrice Educational Foundation knows what great staff we have here at Beatrice Public Schools, and we wanted to let them know just how much we appreciate them. We have many exciting plans to honor staff members, and this is just the beginning. The foundation will match the gift from the school district for the Employee of the Month, have special lunches at each site, and do all we can to let the staff know just how much we appreciate everything they do. Of course, this is all in addition to our teacher grants that we award annually. This initiative is made possible by our Bee Club members and our head of the class sponsors. So we want to make sure we thank them, Beatrice Community Hospital, the Kauffman Foundation, Pinnacle Bank, and Security First Bank. On behalf of the foundation, I'd like to congratulate Miss Missy on being this month's Employee of the Month.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Right. I worked hard for the calendar minutes.
Thank you very much. Thank you for that, too.
Thank you.
If they're together.
You went to-
You should be involved.
Yes, you should.
Hate you all. Thank you, everyone, very much. Appreciate it.
Congratulations.
She also does amazing PowerPoints.
It's time for a new one.
One of her many skills. All right, next up, business friend of the month, Mr.
Okay.
Alexander.
You bet. RJ Eady, can we have you guys come up, please? As you all know, we started the Business Friend of the Month as a way to recognize and appreciate the businesses who are so kind to support our students, our staff, and our schools. It's a tremendous honor tonight to welcome and congratulate our Business Friend of the Month for February. Beatrice Family Chiropractic has been a terrific partner in supporting our schools and students over the years. Business owner R.J. Crandall and wife Edie have become longtime Beatrice school supporters, helping with numerous sporting events, welcoming new teachers and a superintendent, and helping coach and support our youth programs. So we appreciate that greatly. We feel extremely fortunate to have Beatrice Family Chiropractic as a contributing partner financially, but also in all they do to support our students in so many ways. They've supported our classrooms in all schools, elementary, clear up through high school, preschool as well, t-shirts for various events, and not to mention free adjustments for athletes, which has been, I'm sure, a welcome thing for many of them. Sponsoring student events and helping in making sure Beatrice Public Schools students are supported by a local caring business means the world to us and to our students. So thank you very much. I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you. We'll have
Thank you, RJ.
Thank you. Thank you.
We won't make you stay for the rest of the meeting, but you do have to take a picture.
Okay, all right.
Jason, you aren't going to be up there.
Will you send it to me?
Oops.
Hold on just a second.
Okay, this one.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. I just wanted to make sure you were looking this way. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks again.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations, congratulations.
Yeah, that was fun.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Have a good evening. All right, next up, information portion. We will start with the student update. Amy.
Okay, elementary and preschool. Beatrice Elementary is back at it for the second semester. Preschool registration started with record numbers. Kindergarten registration is also underway. Their preschoolers continue to work hard and are growing through play. At the elementary, students are getting ready for their music programs in March. Half of their second graders have enjoyed swim lessons at the YMCA, and the other half will get to go starting this week. They have had 2 rounds of their classes getting awarded the Golden Spatula. This part round, the winning class got to go to the front of the lunch line for the entire week. It was a great reward. Tonight and Thursday, they also have parent-teacher conferences. This is such a great time to share the success in areas of growth. They are working hard to get 100% attendance. An exciting part for this parent-teacher conferences is the book fair. They are looking forward to the next few months. The middle school. BMS is hosting parent-teacher conferences tonight and tomorrow as well. Winter activities are in full swing. Girls basketball is finishing up their schedule this week, and wrestling and delegation are mid-season. The delegation team has recently taken home a first-place finish at the Burke Bonanza contest. They are adding a wrinkle to their house system this semester, in which each house gets to create a house competition. Last week, Amistad chose to do a balloon stomp game, and that was a lot of fun, and you can check it out on all of their social medias. High school. The winter sports are winding down, and the spring seasons will begin on March 3rd. The Lady O Wrestling team will be sending 4 qualified wrestlers to the state tournament that will be occurring in the next few weeks. The boys wrestling team will have districts this weekend and state the next. Both of the basketball teams are winding down their season with only a few regular season games left. The swim and dive team will be competing at state in 2 weeks. The dance team and cheer team both have state tournaments coming up. BHS will also be holding parent-teacher conferences this week and are excited about their new format. The high school held another Freedom Friday last week. The high school also held a recent show choir competition, and at their show choir's last competition, they received a gold award. And that concludes my report.
All right, thank you, Amy. Next up, board reports. We'll start with Stan's report.
So Stance meets this Thursday in person. Up until this point, we've just been kind of monitoring bills. Senators Dorn, Brandt, and Hughes are all scheduled to meet with us this Thursday. We are currently watching about a half dozen bills, including LB 645 that deals with school employee retirement plan, LB 714 introduced by Senator Clements that's pending the Transportation Committee to redistribute the proceeds of how motor vehicles are distributed throughout the state. So there's adjustments in there that could impact schools. LB 303, which changes provisions relating to the foundation aid. That hearing was today, and so it'll be interesting to see how that bill proceeds and if it makes it through, but there was a lot of positive support for it. So those are some of the ones that are right now on the forefront that we'll be talking about this coming Thursday.
Okay, thank you. Committee of the Whole, Doris.
The Board of Education Committee of the Whole meeting was held on Monday, January 27th. First on the agenda was a presentation by Mr. Hakey and Mr. Voigt about middle school and high school parent-teacher conferences, and they said there would be some changes to the structure during the spring semester. Missy Timmerman then informed the board that preschool registration opened in the middle of January and the registration number is up, and then some discussion followed about the high number of students. The school calendar discussion was led by Dr. Nielsen, and the presentation included an overview of the district goals, increasing reading proficiency, creating district-wide systems, increasing data-driven instruction, and developing high-quality staff. Mr. Alexander then shared that the official first reading of the revised policy on standing committees would occur at the February board meeting. That ends my report.
Thank you, Doris. Negotiations, I believe it's back to you.
Well, we will have a report, a more complete report at the February board meeting because of the timing.
Mark, board meeting.
March, yes, that too.
All right, perfect. Next up, public forum. It does not appear that there is anybody that would wish to speak tonight, so we'll move on to discussion. We will start with the 2025-26 school calendar. Dr. Nielsen.
Okay, good evening again. In front of you, you should have a copy of the proposed school calendar. After discussion at the Cal meeting in January, we've made appropriate adjustments for the 25-26 school year calendar. Additionally, with the calendar adjustments, we still focus on providing a strong connection to the improvement of systems and student learning through strategically placed teacher growth and development. We have also worked to take teacher, administration, and board feedback to create the 25-26 calendar. So as you look at the calendar, the school year for students will begin on August 12th, and it will end on May 15th. If you notice, there is something that I don't know if I have ever reached in my time doing the calendar, is first semester has 85.5 days, Second semester has 86.5 days. So having the semesters line up like that, I don't think I have reached that close of a difference with any of the calendars I've done before, so it was kind of maybe a little exciting. But we have a blend of professional learning days as well as monthly early dismissal days. Next year we know we will be adjusting start and end times at the middle school and high school, and then that teacher collaboration on Tuesday mornings will go away. So those days are really important to us to ensure that those teachers have time to collaborate, time to evaluate where students are, and time to figure out and problem solve to ensure that we can find ways to help students improve and to help students meet the standards that we have chosen as priorities. So, as we look at the calendar, you can see that we do reach the 186 staff days. We have front-loaded quite a bit of professional development at the beginning of the year, and we are looking at that August 5th of being a day where teachers come back, because that will be normally what happens on that third day are our new teachers are back in the classroom. And they're given tasks to really go through and start getting to know the classroom, getting to know the school building, getting to know where do I find the secretary, where do I find the custodial staff when I need them, how do I copy things, what if I need Kleenexes, where do I go? So just those things that we know new teachers need that are truly important to them at that point in time. So we are bringing back all staff on that 5th, so that will be a nice way to get other resources in the building rather than just the administration and just our secretaries. So they will have plenty of people to go to, plenty of people to collaborate with as they enter back into the Beatrice Public Schools system. As you go through, again, this looks very similar. We did add the September 2nd Professional Development Day. We do have a resource adoption at the elementary for reading. We also have a lot of different things that we are looking at putting in place, middle school and high school, to really build our systems and to make sure that we are providing interventions in our classrooms for academics and for behavior, that we help our teachers understand what those look like and how to best help our kids right at that moment. So the second will be a huge PD day to where we bring in UNL also to help us go through some of those reading pieces as to how to teach reading at a very high level, but also working with ESU 5 to bring them into help with our middle school and high school, and as we're looking at our practices and ensuring that we are strong in the classroom to help our kids. So you can go through the calendar, and I would be happy to answer any questions. The other day that we added, and we will be adding to every calendar from here on out, is that 6th of May. That will be kindergarten roundup, so there will be no kindergarten on that day. We wanted to make sure that our parents had ample warning and understood that kindergarten roundup would happen on that day.
No, I appreciate the time from our last CAL meeting, just kind of going back and re-looking at this, and I think this, at least in my opinion, met the questions that I had asked at the CAL meeting, so at least kind of keeping in line with start and end times of the school year of how we had moved to this current year from previous years, so this matches back up with that direction, so I'm good with it. Thanks, Jackie. Any other questions? Comments? All right.
Okay, so this will be on the agenda for approval in a few minutes.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next up, first reading of policy 8151, standing committees. Mr. Alexander.
Okay, so as we talked about at the committee of the whole meeting, we took a look at the committees that we have established, which ones should stay, which ones should go. Policy 8151 that was put in front of you. This is the first reading of that policy on standing committees, so we tried to capture the essence of that conversation and what we felt like were the top priority committees and which ones could be ad hoc. And so that's kind of how we came up with that policy. If anyone sees anything different they'd like to change, we can sure do that. But other than that, it should be available for you.
Thank you. Next up, first reading of policy 1210, Title IX discrimination.
So there's a lot of back and forth right now about Title IX and more or less the processes and procedures of how to handle a Title IX complaint. So I emailed our attorney and said, what do you recommend we do right now? And he said, if I were you, due to the uncertainty that exists at every level, I would just sit tight, wait for that uncertainty to sort it out. And so on the basis of that recommendation, I think we just sit tight until we have more information.
Perfect, I would agree with that. Next up, first reading of policy 5013, preschool enrollment.
Okay, again, this is the first reading of policy 5013 on standing committees. We tried to capture the essence of the conversation again at the committee of the whole meeting, in which Ms. Missy did a terrific job of presenting what it is we were trying to accomplish in terms of writing a grant, getting the grant, and what children we would serve on the basis of kind of what our past history has been and how we would do that. So that policy 5013 represents the essence of that conversation in preschool enrollment. I know that she worked very hard on getting the preschool grant submitted, so thank you very much for doing that. And all of the work that you do on behalf of Beatrice Public Schools. So we do appreciate you and thank you for that. So that grant is submitted. We'll wait and see what happens. In the meantime, we're going to move forward. Okay.
Updated numbers, we're up to 205 kids. It just keeps growing, like 1 or 2 a day.
How much longer is enrollment open? Or registration?
Till,
Whenever?
yep.
All right. Any questions on the policies that Jason just discussed? If none, we will move to the action portion and start with committee appointments. As per Board of Education Policy 8151, the President of the Board of Education shall annually appoint board members to the standing committees. So as you can see on your agenda, I have talked to everybody and set up the committees as follows. The 2025 School Community and Staff Relations will be chaired by Eric Book, including also Charles Riedesel and Marissa. And then the 2025 Americanism Committee, chaired by Brandon Petrosky, Charles Riedesel, and Eric Book. And then 26-27 Negotiations Committee will be chaired by myself, and then also Doris Martin and Aaron Hamilton. The NASB Legislative Delegate will be myself, Eric Trusty, and then the Government Relations Network Representative, Charles Riedesel. Are there any questions on that, or do I have a motion, please?
I move that the committee assignments be accepted as stated.
Do we have a motion? Do we have a second?
Second.
Now, are there any questions? Comments? All right, seeing none, can I have your votes, please? And motion passes. All right, next up, approval of the 2025-26 school calendar. Do I have a motion, please?
I move that the Board of Education of District 15 approve the 2025-2026 school calendar.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Eric. I don't know that there's any, if there's any more questions for Dr. Nelson. Questions, comments? Seeing none, can I have your votes, please? And motion passes. All right, next up, approval of purchase of truck for $27,717. Do I have a motion, please?
I move that the Board of Education of District 15 approve the purchase of a Ford F-150 truck for $27,717.
Do I have a motion? Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Eric. Mr. Alexander.
So, as you'll see in the next item, we have an old vehicle, a 1998 Chevy CK71 4x4 half-ton pickup that is time to get rid of. So the next motion after this is to be able to sell that. This motion is to be able to purchase a replacement that we've been working with Zellner Ford on. It's a 2020 Super Cab pickup, Ford XLT, 4-wheel drive, half-ton with 115,000 miles on it. So a much needed upgrade for the maintenance department that will be working on getting finalized in the coming week.
Okay, any questions?
What would be the primary purpose of this vehicle?
Well, right now we use the F-250, which is more of a bigger vehicle for a lot of our in-town type things that we need to do. And we're getting a lot of miles racked up on that we need to try and hold back on because it's a great vehicle for pushing snow. So this vehicle would be a lot of the maintenance that we do from building to building, mail delivery, dropping, driving other vehicles and picking up and shuffling and so forth. So.
Thank you.
Okay, any more questions? Seeing none, kind of your votes, please. Motion passes. All right, next up, approval of property to sell. Do I have a motion, please?
I move that the Board of Education of District 15 approve the selling of property.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Eric. Mr. Alexander, I think we already talked about it.
Yep, it'll be on, we'll use Facebook as our means of advertisement and then take bids.
And that's for the old pickup.
Yep.
Okay, any questions?
Yeah, why do we sell it ourselves rather than trade it in?
Well, because a lot of times just the selling is a better means of getting more money than trading it in, so.
Yeah.
Good question.
Can I have your votes, please? Motion passes. And we've got approval of NASB annual membership dues. Do I have a motion, please?
I move that the Board of Education of District 15 approve the NASB membership invoice of $7,311.
Thank you. I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Eric. Anything to add on that, Jason?
No, I don't think so. I think this is the organization that speaks for itself in representing schools and school boards across the state, so it's a good thing to be a part
I assume that membership fee is dependent on school size. Is that right?
of. I think there is a school size attachment to it, yeah.
Any other questions? Seeing none, can I have your votes, please? And motion passes. All right, Administrator's report, Mr. Alexander.
So I did not send you out a report on Friday because I saved it for tonight. So I had just a few things that I wanted to bring to your attention. And a lot of them are, a couple of them are good news, one of them is not such good news. The geothermal rebate update, we've completed all the tax forms now for that rebate and submitted as of February 5th for our geothermal rebate through the federal government program. The total sum of that rebate was $1,435,665. So a nice sizable rebate. Afton Energy has been the company that we've been working with to get this all in line and submitted. So they get 12%. They get 12% of those grant proceeds, which is fair and appropriate for all the documents and filing fees and everything that come along with this. So we are anticipating any time in the near future to receive $1.2 million of rebate on our geothermal system. I can also tell you in the amount of time of the small time of comparison that we've had between in the cool winter months, comparing our old utility bills to our new utility bills with the geothermal system, our utility usage and expenses are down by about $7,000 to $10,000 a month. And it'll be interesting to see as we go in the next few weeks here, as we have some more cold weather, how that shapes up. But we're tracking it all, so and that appears to be good news. So hopefully we see that soon. We've been working very closely with Ashley Hawks and Keep Beatrice Beautiful and Envision Landscapes, Alex from Envision Landscape, Black Hills Energy, and Dig 811 to secure about 45 trees of different varieties to get planted out at the new elementary school. So just a really neat project to be part of and working on with this group of people. We really appreciate the local support from Envision and Keep Beatrice Beautiful, and then Black Hills Energy and Dig 811 have been great. We're organizing on Arbor Day kind of a big tree planting ceremony for all of these trees, and one will be for each class. So each class will get to plant their own tree. Plaques are being donated so they can post the plaques with what kind of tree it is and what class it is and what class it belongs to. Envision Landscapes will come out and dig the hole and then be there to help the kids plant the trees that day. We're inviting a few dignitaries to come to that as well. There'll be an assembly, so just a really neat thing for Arbor Day and for our kids to learn about what it takes to plant a tree, all the way from calling DIG 811 to start with, to make sure you don't hit any lines, all the way to the final processes of getting the tree in the ground and making sure it's ready to go. So just tremendously appreciate Envision Landscapes. Alex is donating a lot of the time and money towards that, and Black Hills Energy is helping cover the cost of the trees, so kind of a neat thing. Those are the 2 bits of good news. In the state aid preview that we received for the 25-26 school year that models out TIOSA, valuations increased last year about 13%, as you will recall, and our tax levy dropped accordingly to 84 cents in the general fund and about 99 cents overall. The reason we were able to drop that tax levy was due to the 13% increase in valuations. The downside of that is when your valuations go up, if you've heard me preach about this for years, as the valuations go up, then your state aid comes down. So next year we will see a reduction under the current model of about $944,300 due to that. We also lose the 2-year new school adjustment, which will be a factor as well. That, because it increases foundation aid, will result in helping us a little bit, but we won't know about any of that until the current model provided with that we know about. I did speak with Patty Milligan and County Assessor, and we talked about valuations, and she said this is the first year that she's ever had irrigated acres on the book for over $10,000 an acre. So that does make a difference in terms of valuations and what happens with them. So that was an interesting conversation as well. We had a middle school boiler tube that went out for $5,000 that we went ahead and scheduled it to get fixed because of where we're at, and that needs to be operational, so I'll be bringing that to you. And then, as you all know, and we were talking about earlier, we are watching the winter weather approaching us, and we'll try and make decisions as soon as we can and keep everybody informed, but we are keeping a close eye on that. So that's all I have unless there's questions.
I have a question about the trees. Are any of them fruit trees, or are they just trees?
There are fruitless crabapple trees, but other than that, we don't have any fruit trees. A lot of maple and some deciduous evergreen trees, and
Get some nut trees to attract the squirrels.
we do not have any nut trees. I don't think so. Maybe next go around.
Is there still more grass to plant out there, or is that pretty much?
What has been planted is what was in the landscaping bid. So, and we're actually working right now with the company that's going to be redoing the AstroTurf on the football field to bring some of that AstroTurf over and put it in some spots, or in a spot over at the elementary, so we could have an AstroTurf playground area.
All right, any other questions? Seeing none, the next regular meeting of the Board of Education will be March 10th, 2025 at 6 p.m. in the Administration Building. The Committee of the Whole meeting will be February 24th, 2025 at 5:30 p.m. in the Administration Building. An agenda for the meeting, which shall be kept continually current, is readily available for public inspection at the Superintendent's office during normal business hours. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I move that the Board of Education of District 15 adjourn.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Eric. Your votes, please. We are adjourned. Thank you.